So companies oftentimes have employee handbooks on how you're supposed to act safe at work, how you're supposed to run a process at work, how you're supposed to manage your PTO at work, and so on. The reality is, though, there's not a playbook that's written on how promotions happen at your workplace. Oftentimes, it's going to be a culmination of different signals that you either need to send if you're wanting to advance your career, or if you're a manager looking for someone maybe to promote into a supervisor position, there are signals that you should look for to say, yes, this person is probably ready for that next step. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Hey everybody, welcome back to Career Compass Media. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. So the first signal that someone is ready for a promotion is, do they take ownership of a situation and essentially not wait for instructions to fix a problem? Problems come up in work all the time, and oftentimes people, maybe they freeze a little bit, or they don't want to get in trouble, or they don't want to think through a problem and find a way forward, and they feel like it's somebody else's job. And when you're looking for someone who is promotion ready, you're looking for someone who is going to own that solution, not look for approval for every single thing that needs to happen, especially if they know something is wrong. If you, the supervisor, know that it's wrong, why wouldn't they just move forward? You want people to take that initiative. So first and foremost, one of the major signals that someone is ready to move forward in their career is, if a problem presents itself, they don't make it someone else's problem. They don't sit and wait for instructions. They take ownership of it and find a way forward to find a solution to that issue. So the next signal that someone is ready to move into a higher level position and get promoted is how they respond to the team dynamics. And most importantly, do they elevate the team around them? Now, you have some people who are naturally hard workers, but a lot of times they just want to focus on what's in front of them, and they almost have like these blinders on. And people who need to elevate a team take those blinders down, and they see how their work impacts the entire team, and essentially how the whole team moves forward if you're all moving in unison. So someone who is always operating with blinders on is not someone who's probably promotion ready. They're very task ready. They might be very, very good at a process, but when you manage people, you have to have your eyes up a little bit and see how the rest of the team is doing. If you see someone on the team who might be struggling with a part of their process and you happen to be ahead, do you step out of your lane and go and offer help to them so the entire team can move forward together? So again, the second big signal that someone is promotion ready, do they elevate the entire team? So the next signal that someone is promotion ready is how they think. It has to do with their thought process. And what I mean by that is, do they think beyond their role? And an easy way for me, at least in the past, to have gauged this when I want to see if someone really is going to step to the plate and move up and be promotion ready is, do they think one step before things come to them and one step after? That's the minimum, right? Because if you know your job, you know what has to come to you, and if things aren't coming to you, you got to be able to communicate one step back to whoever's in charge of that process and say, hey, I was missing 1, 2, or 3 things. Can you make sure the next time those 3 things are in place? That way, when you get it, you can move as efficiently as possible. And then you also have to know what the next person needs, because you might have something that you think is perfectly in scope, but when you hand it off to that person, they might have 1 or 2 additional things that they would like to make their job easier. So again, someone for sure who is promotion ready, when they think outside of just their role, they have to think at least 1 step backwards and 1 step forward to see how things basically move back and forth. Now that's the minimum. Bigger than that, you do want someone who can maybe see the entire process. I always kind of equate it to people who love puzzles. If you are someone who is naturally intellectually curious, you like seeing how things come together, you're probably someone who's going to like puzzles. And at the end of the day, every good that is produced or every service that is offered to someone is a culmination of different pieces, much like a puzzle. So again, when you're thinking outside of your role, at a minimum, someone is going to signal to you that they're ready for a promotion, or maybe worthy of being built up into a promoted position, if they're at least thinking 1 step before and 1 step after, and preferably further than that. But again, someone who is often signaling that they're promotion ready is someone who is going to be thinking outside their role. So the next signal that somebody is ready is, are they being visible in a way that shows they are working at the next level already? And what I mean by that, let's first talk about visibility. You have to be visible at work. You might be the hardest worker in the room, but if nobody knows that, and you haven't taken that step to get out of your comfort zone or maybe show people what you have to offer, you've not made yourself really strategically visible. Now, keep in mind, there's a difference between visibility and strategic visibility. Those are two very different things. And a perfect example of that is if you've ever watched that, I think it's an insurance commercial where some guy starts, he's brand new and he starts barking at his boss because he sees his boss has this Georgia Bulldog cup, and so he does the bulldog bark at her. There's a lot of visibility there, but that's not strategic visibility, right? What you want to do is make yourself visible in a way to show that you're already operating at the next level. Maybe somebody went on FMLA. They had to take 6 weeks off because of a surgery or whatever it might be. And, you offered to be the interim person while that person's away to take on those additional tasks to prove that you are able to operate at the next level. And even if you're not in a formal role, you're already acting at that next level with the opportunities to get in front of people. If you get a chance to do a presentation for maybe the board or maybe a group of executives, and you take the extra time, you make sure everything is buttoned up really nice and goes exactly as planned and is very thoughtful, right? You're proving that you're already operating at the next level, even though you don't have that title. That is a clear signal that you're ready to make the next move. Or again, if you're a manager looking for someone to maybe succeed you so you can move on to your role, that's a perfect signal to say, this person is already at that level. I should really engage that person because that person might be in line for the next promotion, but are they already operating at the next level? That's a clear sign someone is promotion ready. So thanks again, everybody, for tuning into Career Compass Media. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Do leave some comments in the comment section if there's some content you would like to see developed. And as always, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Take care.